the beast has issued his command, the command of the king of international religious law. You're looking at the executive order signed by Donald Trump, the Antichrist, imposing international religious law upon the whole earth. Let's look at Revelation 13. It talks about this very thing. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. The dragon gave that to the beast. Okay, when the beast gets the authority, there is a command from the king. The command from the king goes forth to get the people to bow and worship. Esther chapter 3, and after these things the king promoted Haman, a type of the Antichrist, advanced him and his seat above all the princes that were there with him, and the king's servants and that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had commanded concerning him. So there's a command from the king. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did he reverence. And when the king's servants, which were in the king's gate unto Mordecai, why transgress against the what? King's commandment. To what? Bow and worship. Then we see Revelation 13:4. And they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? And it was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him 42 months. Now we showed you the 42 months started in August last year. How do we know? We just saw Esther. In the 12th year, Haman is killed. He's the Antichrist. So if you subtract 3.5 years, you come to a precise date when the beast gets his power. And that was August last year. So he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power is given unto him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. By what? Commandment. In whose names were not written in the book of life, slain from the foundations of the world. Now, everyone will say they're in the book of life. Okay? But the valley of decision is going forth. We will see who will be on the book of life, who will not, who will make a stand against the mark of the beast. Now, let's read what the Bible says about worshiping the beast and the mark of the beast. We see the mark of the beast described in a few places, Revelation 14:9. If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead and in his hand. So, it is by worshiping the beast, okay, that you receive the mark in his hand. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. That is the result of worshiping the beast and receiving his mark. Revelation 19:20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, which deceived them. Okay, the people were deceived into taking the mark of the beast. The devil does not come with a contract for you to sign saying, here, take the mark of the beast. The people are deceived. Them that have received the mark of the beast, and them that have worshipped the image. Now, it's important to realize worshiping the image is part of this, okay? And these both were cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, okay? These being the beast and the false prophet. Now, what is deceived? Okay, planio, to go astray, to error, to seduce, to lead away from the truth, to lead into error. So, the people will be led into error to take the mark of the beast. Revelation 13:15, he will cause as many as would not worship the beast, that they should be killed. And he causes both small and great, rich and poor, bond and free, to receive a mark in their hand and in their foreheads. It doesn't have to be a physical mark, guys. It comes as a result of worship. And that no man might buy and sell, save ye have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now, we have types and shadows throughout the Bible to show us this. Daniel chapter 3, Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made a what? Image of gold, the image of the beast, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth 6 cubits, 66. And he set it up in the plains of Babylon, and Nebuchadnezzar set it up to gather together all the princes, basically the whole world, the kingdom. And they gathered together at the dedication, Hanukkah. Okay, remember Hanukkah later in the video. All right, what the Antichrist is doing is connected to Hanukkah. Of the image that Nebuchadnezzar, the king, had set up, they stood before the image that he had set up. And the herald, he cried, when it was what? Commanded. So, the mark of the beast, the worship of the beast is a commandment. It's a commandment, okay? All people and nations and language, that they should, at the time they hear the sound of the music, fall down and worship the golden image which Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And whosoever falls not down to worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Many of you are confused. Oh, God would never do this to me. God would never no. You are not better than Daniel, okay? You are not better than those that were without spot or wrinkle. What did God do? He had the king command a decree to throw them in the fiery furnace. Why? To show his glory, okay? So don't cry about the times you're in. You're supposed to be here, okay? You're supposed to overcome. But prayer overcomes the mark of the beast. How? We go to Daniel chapter 6, okay? Then this Daniel was preferred above all the presidents of the princes because of the excellent spirit was in him. And the king sought to set him over the whole realm of the kingdom. Then what happens is everyone gets jealous of him. And they establish a what? Command. The mark of the beast, the worship of the beast is a command, a decree of the king. A command to establish a royal statute, to make a firm decree that whosoever shall not petition any god or man for 30 days. Save you, O king, let him be cast into the den of lions. So they set up this decree on purpose because of what? Daniel's prayer. They could find no fault in him. Daniel didn't do anything wrong. And what did Daniel do? And Daniel cried unto the Most High God, oh God, why have you done this and you have forsaken me? No, that is not what it says. Now, O king, when they established the decree and signed in the writing that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians that alters not. Therefore Darius the king signed the writing with his decree. Okay, and what did Daniel do? Daniel went into his house, and the windows opened in his chambers towards Jerusalem, and kneeled upon his knee 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did before. He could care less about his life. He could care less about why did God do this to him. Okay? He said, I don't care. You can kill me, O king, but I will still pray. Prayer overcomes the mark of the beast. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the lion's den, and the king sealed it with his own signet in the seal of the Lord's. So don't cry and complain, look, you've been taught wrong things by the false apostate church, okay? They said, you won't go through wrath, you won't go through judgment. Really? What about the early church? The early church was thrown in the lion's den. The early church was thrown in the furnace. Are you better than them? No. This is the time that we stand. The command has gone forth. Let's look at the command. Just type in Executive Order 13926. You'll come to the Advanced International Religious Freedom. Advanced International Religious Freedom. Executive Order. PDF file. Downloading. Now here's the PDF file. As you can see, presidential documents, Executive Order 13926, June 2nd, 2020, advancing the international religious freedom. Now notice what it says by the authority vested in me as the president by the Constitution. Since when does the Constitution implement international law? Well, that's exactly what you're looking at. And the laws of the United States of America hereby orders the following. Religious freedom. America's first freedom as a moral and national security imperative, religious freedom for all people worldwide. Since when does the Constitution implement laws worldwide? Well, they do now. As a foreign policy priority of the United States, with respect to the vigorously promote this, quote-unquote, freedom. Now, keep in mind, whenever you see this word freedom, it means worshiping the beast. Let's make that very clear. Okay? With respect to, as stated in national security, the founders understood religious freedom not as a creation of the state, but as a gift of God. Okay? Who's God? All right, what God? There's a principality in the power of the air. That's what they're talking about. To every person, and a right that is a fundamental for flourishing as a society. Religious communities, etc. All right, but what's included in this, in foreign countries, to inform the United States government of policies, programs, and activities related to international religious freedom. Okay, since when does one country have the authorization to implement religious freedom all over the world? Well, you can read about it in Revelation 13. And now remember when this was implemented. June 2nd, 2020, prioritization of international religious freedom within 180 days. Now remember in the book of Esther, the king had a feast, 180 days. That's 6 months, okay? Now in the calendar, when this was implemented, it was the day that God came down on Mount Sinai, okay? Now 6 months later would be Hanukkah. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so they're talking about here in Section 2, the planning and implementation of the United States government, United States foreign policy, in foreign assistance programs by the Department of State and USAID. So USAID is the arm which they are using to cover the whole earth with this Religious Freedom Act. Okay, and the funding for it, they're going to have people and programs and re-education programs and all kinds of stuff. Executive departments and agencies that fund foreign assistance programs to ensure faith-based and religious entities, including eligible entities in foreign countries, are not discriminated against. Keep in mind, this is all doublespeak. Everything they're saying is the opposite on the basis of religious identity or religious belief. Okay, it's basically what they're saying is they're establishing a new religion, and then anyone that doesn't agree to it, they'll face repercussions. Now, this is to other countries, but this is also to individuals. Section 4, international religious freedom in the United States diplomacy. Okay, so they have a watch list, special watch list of countries where there are entities of particular concern in other countries which have engaged in tolerated violations of religious freedom. So they're going to go into other countries as a matter of foreign policy and penalize them with sanctions, okay? And meetings and their counterparts in foreign governments, the heads of agencies shall, when appropriate, may coordinate with the Secretary of State in concerns of international freedom and involve individuals in prison because of their religion. All this is opposite. What this means is that people will be thrown into prison for their faith in Jesus Christ, okay? And they have training. Section 5 is training. Okay. Then they're going to have people all over the world doing this, performing this. And within the first 90 days, they're going to start reporting back to the United States of their findings. Okay. So they're going to have these spies and agents all over the world in different countries they're going to start identifying people that won't bow to the beast. Okay. They're going to have economic tools. I mean, this is unbelievable. And they're going back over some previous documents, which if you get this, you can take the time and read it. For example, here, blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights violations and corruption. So they're using old executive orders and others to connect to this, okay? But this is, think about this. This is the President of the United States saying, based on the United States, he's going to place, based by the Constitution, what a ridiculous word that is, basically implement international religious law. That's exactly what this is. It's international religious law, which is exactly what the beast does. This is what the beast does. This is the major part of the mark of the beast. Okay, because the mark of the beast comes as a result of a decree from the king to worship the beast. And here it is. This is whole thing. Now you can read about the details of it on your own. There you see the United States implementing laws to be the international police of religion. Notice in that 180 days will bring us to Hanukkah. Okay? We'll watch and see what happens, but you see the image there, the statue, this is going on. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. His 42 months began last year in August. We learned this through the book of Esther. We have other videos on this. We won't talk about it now. But the apostate church is worshiping him. Okay? Donald Trump is the Antichrist. And the Antichrist must impose upon the whole earth the mark of the beast. And that is exactly what you see happening with coronavirus, with the vaccine, and possibly even the testing. So we have the implementation of religious law over the whole earth. This is beast worship. Okay? Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Please watch my playlist on Donald Trump is the Antichrist. There's way more proof and evidence than this, but isn't that strange? The stuff, the all-seeing eye and the star behind him as he signs this executive order. So guys, thanks for watching, okay? And please catch up on what's going on with this virus. Catch up what's going on with everything in the world. You're in the tribulation. Amen.